huge. This is the only chance that we get to nominate someone. We'd like to call Michelle Erykah up first. And we have a few words to say to you. So I've known Michelle for 2 years now, and I've seen her grow in ways that are really just tremendous, and it's such an honor to be able to give you this award. When looking at the IB Learner profile, it was difficult to choose just a couple of characteristics for you, because really I could check off almost every one. And then, of course, Keith and I were fighting over which one we each get to speak about. So I chose open-minded for you. I'll never forget your presentation of Three Kings Day. She brought in a cake for everyone. She did a PowerPoint. And you're so proud of your Mexican heritage, and it's so great for students to see how you're certainly American, but you also maintain that pride in your Mexican culture, and you're willing to share it with everybody. And then during this contentious debate season and election, you were really able to critically evaluate your own arguments, even though some arguments in the election were really personally difficult for you to hear from classmates, but you were able to consider them and respectfully respond, and I just so admire that, because that's something that's hard for adults to do. And then principled, of course. You've always been a person with a strong sense of social justice, and in the classroom, you're never afraid to speak your mind, even when it's not popular. Why are you laughing? It's true. Okay. And then taking responsibility for your work. Michelle's never a person when she gets a grade to say, oh, it's the teacher's fault, or, I was sick. It's always, what can I do to do better? And so she would stay last year for T periods and rewrite her essays. And this year she's staying after 9th period to do her work. And it's so impressive. I mean, it says something when the classroom empties out and there's Michelle, the one person who's doing a 10th period in the classroom. That's huge. And then, of course, communicator. And one thing in communicator that it says is that we express ourselves in more than one language. And you do that. And some people speak a second language, but they're not comfortable letting people know. And you do that 100%. You show us relationships, like when we're talking about guerrilla warfare, and you show us relationships between Spanish words and the words we use in social studies. So you're really a model for that. And of course, you read beautifully in class. I'll let you speak a little bit more about it. I won't take it all.
So I'll kind of wrap it up quickly with definitely we see in Michelle risk taker. There's some difficult readings that we do in global history, and Michelle's the first hand always up, volunteering to help out, read different dialects, different languages, and also caring when she's the leader in her group. When we do group work, she's always bringing new students into her group and pairs. So across the board, it's been a pleasure getting to know Michelle this year, because it's been my first year, and it was an easy choice for us this month.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. You want to stay up?
Can we get a quick picture with them before he has to go back after? Was dusted after Nicole. Erykah, please. Erykah Michelle. And this is another student. This is my second year with Erykah, and it's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure to be able to give you this award. Seeing you grow in all sorts of ways in our class is just amazing. And I chose communicator for you as well. And my favorite story is I was like, you're student of the month, really student of the year. She's like, oh, so do I need to write a speech? Do I get it? That's a communicator for you. She's like, how can I speak at this event? How can I add to it? I was like, no, you're off the hook for this one. But she's the one who does skits in our class. She's always ready. You can see her skits and her acting out in class. You can see that online even still from last year. Debate, she's ready to express her opinion in a professional way. Your points, you're really a clear speaker. Even when you're passionate about a topic, you can make your point in a way that people who disagree with you understand where you're coming from. And then inquirer and risk taker for you. You question things in a way that shows enthusiasm for learning and an interest for learning. And you're always willing to try new things. The other day we were doing professional Twitter accounts, and I know that one of your classmates already deleted his professional Twitter, but you're a person who's like, let me try this, let me see, I'll change a picture, I'll do this and see what happens. You're willing to try new things where others, get nervous. and reflected and open-minded. I was so impressed when in class we were looking at implicit biases. We had a day where we could just do only our class was meeting, and you were willing to take, the Harvard implicit bias test. You were willing to look at your own biases and consider others in a way that was that made our whole class feel comfortable looking at a topic that makes adults uncomfortable. And I'm so impressed with you. And then, of course, election, and similar to what I said for Michelle, that you were able to hold in mind opinions that might have been personally offensive, but consider them and understand why people have support for both candidates in the election. I'm so glad to have you as a student a second year in a row, and thank you for being here.
Oh.